Hey everyone, so today I just want to share, it's going to be a long video, okay, just a warning. It's just, something I want to talk about in case it might help somebody, but it's basically, I guess, my journey from being like super shy, almost like mute, to being able to be on camera and do acting and hosting and being on YouTube and all that stuff, because it has been a journey. So if you do want to do something on camera, or just maybe public speaking or something, performing on stage or whatever, but you're like really shy, you're struggling with it, hopefully my story can help you out. And I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything like that, but I definitely have come a long way from where I was. So that's why I want to share it. So this is my first time kind of ever really talking about it, because it's kind of a long story. So if you're up for it, awesome. Thank you so much. If you like short videos, you can watch something else. All right. First of all, I just want to start off by saying that it is possible to be an introvert and still be a performer, still be an actor, singer, whatever. For some reason, people think that if you're on YouTube or on camera at all, you must be an extrovert. No. Not every person you see on camera is an extrovert. So here are actually some introvert performers, in case you're wondering. Johnny Depp, Robert Pattinson, Keanu Reeves, Chris Evans.
I consider myself an introvert. I am.
Katie Holmes, I love her. Britney Spears, I love her. Michael Jackson, I love him. Brad Pitt, Heath Ledger, INFP, woo. Tom Hiddleston, INFP. Tom York, I love them too, and they're also INFPs. Monica Bellucci, Prince, David Bowie, John Lennon, Nicole Kidman, and Audrey Hepburn, which Audrey Hepburn, I think, was also INFP. So there you go. Just a small sample of performers who are actually introverts. So let me start from the beginning, from when I was a kid. So basically when I was like in preschool, like that's how young I was when I knew I wanted to act. I just remember watching movies as a kid and just thinking like that would be really fun and I want to do that. I was like 5, so I was just like, I want to do that, like thinking in my head, I want to do that, I want to just be another character, go in another world. And I remember, in preschool, we would be playing that game where people have different jobs, and one kid's like, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, and I'm like, I'm an actor, and the kids were like, okay. And I felt weird because all the other kids had they picked jobs that benefited society in a way. And I'm just like, I'm an actor, and they're like, okay, what does that have to do with so from when I was that young, I kind of knew like, okay, I'm a little different. And also, I should probably say this for context, I'm originally from a really small town where everyone knows everyone. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't need people stalking my friends and family. So yeah, I did not grow up with connections to the industry. I wasn't rich. My parents were like middle class or whatever. They were not very supportive of me. I'm probably going to go into that a little bit later. But yeah, so for context, I'm not from LA or anything. I've lived there. I'm not from there. I'm originally from a really small town. Everyone knows everyone. Not rich, no connections, nothing. Okay. So I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. Well, then I went to elementary school, and in first grade, we had an assignment, and they asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? So when they asked us that, I wrote, when I grow up, I want to be an actor because I can be in TV and I can be a movie star and a rock star and I can make people laugh. And that's the assignment I wrote. I still have it. I got 100%. Yay. I still have that because I found it when I was in college. I found that assignment and I totally, had forgotten that I wrote that. So when I found that and like all this paperwork, I kept it and I framed it because it just kind of reminded me of who I was when I was younger, and I still am kind of the same. I still like acting. I can play a rock star, which I love music too, make people laugh, which I still like to do with, stand-up comedy, making funny videos. So I'm still kind of like essentially kind of the same in that aspect. So it means a lot to me, and so I just framed it and everything. That was in first grade, but I was really, really shy. I just, have always been like the more quiet one. People would always tell me that I was quiet in the report cards. The comment from teachers was always like, she's really smart, but really quiet. That's what I would get pretty much every year on the report cards. Really smart, but really quiet. Really smart, but really quiet. Then in second grade, the shyness got even worse because I kind of got traumatized in a way by this girl's comment. I was like 8, I think, at that time. And, this is just one comment can really have an impact on a child. So that's why I really, encourage people to be nice, because you never know how something is going to hurt somebody, especially, kids that are more sensitive. And I've always been more sensitive, but just because someone's sensitive doesn't mean you have to be like a jerk. And you never know, that's why people should always, I think, be nice. But anyway, I still remember this. I was, second grade, I was playing outside. It was during recess, and this girl she was just mean to me. She's never liked me. And she told me that I sounded like a boy, in second grade, before I even went through puberty. She's like, you sound like a boy, just like complaining about my voice. And I was like, oh my God. And I just like remember just kind of feeling like somebody punched me in the stomach, and just like all the air just went out of me. Like I couldn't breathe. I was like just in shock because I was like, wow, okay. I didn't know that I sounded like a boy. I guess because my voice, I've never had like a really high pitched voice. So I thought, oh, wow, okay. So I guess I sound like a boy. Cool. I mean, not really cool, but I thought, I guess I'm never going to talk again because I'm not a boy. And I don't want to be a boy. I want people to see me as a girl because I am a girl. And I'm not saying being a boy is bad, but I'm a girl. I like being a girl. And that just really affected me because I was like, oh, I didn't know I sounded like a boy. And since I do sound like a boy, I guess I'm never going to talk again. So after that, like my shyness got like even worse because I kind of became a mute in a way. Like I rarely talked, even less than I already was not talking. I kind of only spoke when spoken to in school. Around my friends, I would speak a little bit more, but I remember after that happened, every year in elementary school after that, it would take me a really long time to just talk to people, like to just be able to speak. It would take me kind of like a week to get used to my new class every year, to the new teacher, to the new students. And I remember I just wouldn't talk for almost like the first week of every new grade because I was like, well, if I sound like a boy, I don't want to talk a lot. I don't want people to think I'm a boy. And I just didn't really like my voice. But, this whole time I still liked acting. I wanted to act and everything. And we would do school plays and our teachers would assign the roles. We didn't have auditions or anything in elementary school. So the teachers would just pick like, okay, you're going to play this character. You're going to play this character. And they would always give me a role. There wasn't enough roles for all the kids, obviously, in elementary school. And, in every grade, there were roles. And then the kids that didn't get the roles would be in the chorus, like on the sides, and just be singing the songs. And luckily for me, I always got picked to have a role, and like inside my head I was secretly happy because I'm like, yay, because I do like to act and everything, but I wouldn't really show it. I would just be really quiet. And I was confused too because I was happy that they picked me, but then I was like, I'm really quiet, why would they pick me? I don't know if the teachers were trying to like kind of help me kind of speak more maybe. But and also when I did speak, like I said, I kind of would only speak when spoken to. And then when I did speak, I was so quiet. People would be like, what? I really, like, psychologically, I think because I was so affected by that girl's comment, I was like, okay, if I have to speak, I'm going to still speak really low. So like really quietly so people wouldn't be able to hear my voice and hopefully like think that like confuse me for a boy. Like, no, I don't want them to confuse me. So like if somebody spoke to me, I'd be like, yes, okay. Like very, very quietly. And people are like, what? Speak up. They would always tell me, speak up. But yeah, I would have roles in the play. And then it was so hard to like see those videos. I haven't seen them in a long time. I think maybe I've only seen them once. Because I remember we would have microphones. And when we would say our lines, we would say them in the microphones. And it'd be like, next to me. I was so quiet, and it was hard because I liked doing plays. I liked acting. I was one of the few people that, like, when they would announce the plays, the students would be like, no, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yes. Secretly, I'm like, yes, yes. But I wouldn't really show it. So that was my time in elementary school, just like really quiet, enjoying the plays, but still being like kind of mute and quiet, and only spoke when spoken to, and blah blah blah. But like I said, I would open up a little bit more, like if I was at my friend's house or something, because I was comfortable. It's not like I would go to my friend's house and just be quiet, but like if it was like her and maybe some of her friends, like I would be more quiet because of like, I don't know them, I don't trust them, like I don't want them to make fun of me. So it was only people that I was like really comfortable with, I would kind of speak up a little bit more. And with my family, I would kind of talk to them. I mean, we didn't have the best relationship, but I wasn't really mute with them. It was more just like around people I didn't really know and stuff like that. And then in middle school, I started kind of talking a little bit more. I think just kind of growing up. And also what helped, I think, is I think when I was 10 or 11, I kind of just started thinking, okay, so I want to act, but how am I going to make this happen? Because even at like 10 or 11, I was already kind of thinking ahead. I'm like, okay, I want to be an actor, but how am I going to make this happen? I'm from a small town. I would hear, oh, it's who you know, all that stuff. I don't live in LA. My parents aren't rich. They're not connected. There's no industry in my small town. There's no film industry. So I was like, how am I going to make this happen? So I thought, I'm just going to like give myself work. So I started making my own movies, basically. I did write a Christmas play in 5th grade because that was the only year we didn't do a Christmas play, because every year in elementary school we would do 2 plays. We would do like a spring play and a Christmas play, and in 5th grade I was really looking forward to a Christmas play, and then we didn't do it. So I was really mad. I'm like, I'm gonna write one. So I wrote a Christmas play in 5th grade, and I had my siblings and cousins perform in it, and we performed it for my family. I've always been very like a go-getter, I'm not the loudest person, but I take action. I've always kind of been like that. Yeah. So in middle school, I started just making my own movies. I wouldn't really write scripts just because of my attention span. I'm like, I can't. Like, I would just improvise, really. I would just kind of get my siblings and friends, and I'd be like, okay, these are the roles we're gonna play. This is kind of like the basic plot, and let's see what happens. I would just like improvise the whole thing. I had a lot of fun, and that kind of helped get me just to be comfortable on camera. The first camera I used was this black and white camera for kids that is called Tyco Video Cam. I still have it. It's in storage. You had to always have it connected to the VCR because it would record onto a VHS tape. So we were only limited to like the room because it always had to be connected to the VCR. So we filmed a bunch of movies, like horror and dramas. When I tried to do drama or horror, I would always turn it into a comedy. So I was like, I think comedy is more my thing. Just like naturally, I would always think of like funny ways to do certain things, like, or just ways to make the scene funnier. So I'm like, yeah, I think comedy's more my thing. So I did that. Then I upgraded and I got to use my dad's better camera, which was in color, and I recorded on tape, so we were able to actually film outside. So yeah, I did a lot of like filming. And then that's when I also realized, oh, I like directing as well. I liked not only being in front of the camera, but I liked being behind the camera as well. And then I did some editing with VHS tapes, and then I upgraded to Windows Movie Maker. I think that was more in high school. So I kind of upgraded my editing as well. Yeah, so that kind of helped me get kind of used to my voice, because I didn't like my voice. I still kind of, being on camera, it was kind of helping me be a little bit more comfortable with it. Then I kind of had to like overcome hearing my voice. That was so hard. I mean, I think a lot of people can relate. We don't like our own voice, and it's just, like, I remember the first time like hearing it, I'm like, oh my God, that's what I sound like. I was like, wow, I think I do sound like a boy. It's just, I mean, before I keep going, like, if you have the same things, same struggles where you don't feel comfortable on camera, you're too shy, you don't like to hear your voice, you have to just do it. You can't wait for a magic day where you're just going to be like comfortable with it. Like, that's never going to happen. Like, that's just not how it happens. You have to just do it. And then with time and practice, you'll eventually get used to it. I'm not saying you're gonna love your voice, but you'll just get used to it. It's hard, but you have to do it. Like, and that's the same thing I tell people who they're like, oh, I want to do YouTube channel or something. I'm like, you have to do it. You just have to start. Like, you're not gonna automatically like one day be like, I'm magically gonna be perfect on camera. That's no. Like, no one starts out perfect on camera. You have to just do it, and practice makes perfect. So this is my whole process of getting used to all that stuff. So, I was getting comfortable being on camera with my little movies, hearing my voice. I would actually record little like radio shows on the computer we had. It was like Windows 95, and it had this really cool Wave recorder, and Wave is like the type of audio file. And the cool thing is there was no limit. I could record for hours on it. So I just get on there and record like a radio show, like, okay, so we're gonna play this music now, because I wanted to have a radio show too. And this was, I think, in maybe like late middle school, early high school. So late 90s, basically. And I would play guests too. I'd be like, okay, so we're going to have Jennifer Love Hewitt on. Then I would like play Jennifer Love Hewitt. Just like be like, oh yeah, we're broadcasting live from this concert. And I just did it for fun. I wouldn't really listen to it though. It's not like I would listen back for like the 2 hours that I recorded. It was more just, I like doing it. If you want to get used to your voice, do that, record yourself, hear it. I don't know, but like I said, it's really hard. Like even now I've cringed hearing my voice sometimes. Like I just like, ugh. Especially when you're not ready. I think because I'm an introvert, it's like I need to be prepared to like hear my voice, and all of a sudden people are like, here you go. I'm like, no, get it away from me, get it away. We didn't really do any plays or anything in middle school. We did a couple talent shows, so that helped too. I did do a talent show. I did a couple where we danced. We didn't, and it was cool because I like to dance too. So it kind of helped get me more used to like being, performing on stage. And luckily we didn't mess up. We got it, the dance we practiced right. And I remember before I went on, I was feeling nervous. What I did to like feel better about being nervous was I was just kind of jumping up and down, just like doing a little bit dancing in the backstage. And I was like, okay, like, kind of help get the jitters out. And then we performed, and it was great. We got good applause, and yeah, it was really fun. And I still remember that whole choreography, even though it's been like over 20 years. So muscle memory, right? So then in high school, I got more advanced with my editing with Windows Movie Maker at that time. Better camera, because I think my dad got a newer camera. So yeah, and then I would just, again, just film more little projects with my friends and I. So I was getting used to like being on camera more, and I enjoyed directing as well. Yeah, I would do a lot of video projects. Like if we had a project and I thought I would rather do it through video, I would ask the teacher like, hey, can I make a video instead of writing it? And a lot of times they would say yes. So I recommend you do that. If you're more of a visual person, ask your teacher if maybe you can do it visually, and they might say okay, because I think every time I asked them if I could do a video version instead, like they all said okay. I think maybe because nobody else was doing it. And then I would show my project, and I would get really good comments like from the teacher. They're like, do you want to do this as a career? I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you should do it. I'm like, awesome. So it's kind of nice to get some encouragement, because my parents weren't really encouraging. They just kind of thought it was a phase. They wanted me to like be a lawyer, doctor, all that stuff. So they were not on board. They were not supportive. But my teachers were, and they would always give me A's because I would, it's something I enjoyed. So I would really put a lot of work into it. I was very creative. I was good with the editing, all that stuff. So my classmates enjoyed it. My teachers enjoyed it. I got good grades, on the projects. So, because it's something I actually liked and I enjoyed. And then another thing that helped me out too with stage fright and things like that, I did a couple like modeling shows, like runway shows in high school, just to help out some friends. And it was fun. Like I said, I do enjoy it. It's just, there are some actors who are also shy. Yeah. And I know some people who have anxiety. I have anxiety too, or are shy. They will join theater to kind of help them, with that. So that's something if you want to try, be brave and, just do things because you're never going to grow if you're just staying in your little box, in your little comfort zone. So even though it was kind of a little bit nerve-wracking to be all modeling and stuff, because I don't really consider myself a model, but I was like, oh, it'd be fun. A lot of my friends are doing it. I want to help out my friend. It's a new experience. So it was actually like pretty fun. But I kind of had my own little personality when they were kind of showing us how to walk on the runway. They were telling us, don't smile, you know, just like walk all serious. But that's not really my personality. Like, especially, I thought it was like, to me, I just thought this whole thing was funny about like, you know, the modeling thing, especially me doing it. I just thought it was hilarious because I don't really see myself as a model. So I actually smiled. Like, I actually kind of laughed when I was walking. I'm just like, you know, like happy about it because I was having fun, and I just thought it was funny that I was modeling. So I laughed and I smiled, and even though they said don't, but I'm like, you're taking yourself too seriously. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so yeah, I still kind of had to struggle with my voice. Like, I'm not the kind of person that I'll like, if I'm filming myself, you know, acting or something, it's not like I enjoy looking back at it like, wow, I'm like so good. Like, I'm not a narcissist, so some people like to, but I would edit my projects. So that's, you know, it's like I had to watch it, but it was still like, oh God, just kind of hurry. Let's edit this real fast. And then I had my first boyfriend in senior year of high school. And, you know, I was 17. And I remember I didn't want him to call me on the phone because of how I sounded on the phone, because I thought, okay, if he calls me, he's gonna think I'm my brother. He's, you know, I have a younger brother, so I thought, oh my gosh, what if he calls and then because of my voice, he's gonna confuse me and he's gonna think I'm my brother. So I didn't want him to call me on the phone. He did call me. He didn't confuse me for my brother, but it was just my own thing, you know, because of my voice. I still kind of thought, you know, wasn't the most feminine voice or whatever because of what that girl said. It was still affecting me. And then I did go to film school, so I did a lot of directing in film school. I didn't really do a lot of acting. I kind of put acting to the side. So after doing some directing, which, you know, I enjoyed directing and editing. I'm good at both, but I enjoy directing more than editing. I like editing my own stuff. I realized I don't like editing other people's projects, so don't send me stuff to edit. But I was like, I want to act again. You know, I hadn't acted in a while. And, you know, I just had ideas for things I wanted to make and blah, blah, blah. And at this time, it was like 2006, I think. It's been a while. But I basically started making YouTube videos because I thought, I want to act, but I'm still, at that time, I still didn't feel completely comfortable on camera, completely comfortable with my voice. I knew I was still awkward on camera because, you know, when I had to be on camera or on stage or something, I could feel like the redness in my face, like, oh my God. And, you know, that just feeling of like freezing and stuff. So I wanted to try to get over that. So I thought I just have to do it. Like, I just have to start. So that's what I did. I just started making videos. Some of my first ones, I don't think I have anymore. It's been a while. I think I maybe posted it and then deleted it. It was talking about like a TV show that I liked. So nothing like super deep or anything, because I was like, I want to talk about this thing, but I don't know anyone who knows it, and I thought maybe if I just put it out, somebody will like it. Of the ones that I still found that are some of my oldest videos, I'm gonna like show you a little bit. This is my first time seeing it since I freaking posted this, which was a long time ago. This was not 2006. This was probably 2010, I think, because I'm talking about Michael Jackson. I think this was after he passed away. And I'm going to show you guys so you can see the difference. Okay, this is me in 2010. This is just 10 years ago. So it actually is not that long. So you can see the difference. There's still more of like how I went from here to here. There's still more to the story, but just since we're at this part of the story right now in 2010, let's see part of it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cringe. Oh God, see how awkward I am.
Hey everybody, just excuse the noise in the background. I have a fan on, it's really hot. Michael Jackson's birthday is in a couple of weeks. It's also the same day as my mom and my best friend's birthday, so I've always thought that was really cool. Ever since he passed away, I've kind of been trying to think of a way that we could celebrate do something really cool on his birthday.
My hair, God, what the heck? Look at that part. Why is it so...
really honor his memory. As usual, I can't really think of really good ideas until the very last minute. I came up with a list of ways we can celebrate Michael Jackson's birthday, and I hope, you know, this could inspire you guys to either use any of these suggestions or maybe think of some, inspired to think of your own ideas and something that it just really make an impact and show everyone how inspiring Michael was, because one of the greatest thing about Michael Jackson was just
I have so much hair.
His heart and just how much he cared about people and how much he wanted to change the world and make it a better place. Here's my list of ways to celebrate Michael Jackson's birthday. You can host in your own town, run...
Oh my gosh, okay. So it wasn't as bad as one of the first videos that I did. That was like, you could barely like hear me talk like this. So this was like after I had been filming a little bit, but you can tell that I'm still not completely comfortable. I feel like I say a lot more. That's something, a lot of us have to work on. And saying, I just said it right now, but that's something I want to work on as well. So, it's a process. People aren't perfect. There's still always work to do. But yeah, and then if you see the camera, this was 2010. It wasn't the best camera. The quality is not that good. My hair was horrible. This is when I used to cut my own hair because I didn't want to spend money. But I don't do that anymore. I realized it's worth to spend money on a good haircut, in my opinion, especially if you're going to be on camera. So at that time, I wasn't uploading very regularly to YouTube. Because it wasn't something I was kind of really serious about. It's more just like, whenever I feel like it, I'll upload a video. It was really random. There was no really like theme to the channel or anything. But this video is also about Michael Jackson. I do love Michael Jackson. So I'm just going to see the difference. I think this video was maybe done probably a year later. This was recorded on a webcam.
Hello, I just wanted to make a little quick video talking about the Michael Jackson that tape that was released, I think it was yesterday, during the trial, the whole recording of him.
Okay, I feel like I am a little bit more comfortable on this one, but just through like my head movements and posture and everything, I feel like I'm not as comfortable as the first one. So there you go. There's progress. Anyway, back to the journey. So yeah, I wanted to do more acting, get more comfortable on camera. But before, I did any acting, I did the videos to just get comfortable before I even tried to do any acting. Then in 2015, I ended up moving to LA. It's more like, let's see what happens. Hopefully I get to do some acting. So I started off doing some editing. That was kind of my paid work. And then I started doing background acting shortly after in 2015. I thought background acting was really good for somebody who wants to be an actor, because you get used to being on set. You have to be on camera. You don't get close-ups all the time or most of the time. But for me, it really helped. So I recommend that if you do want to act, but you feel kind of shy, not comfortable, definitely try to do some background acting, because it's just kind of dipping your toe in there. That way you can see if you even like being on set. Some people have no clue. I kind of had some clue because I've worked on sets before for a long time, and I kind of knew the long hours and all of that stuff, but I wanted to get used to being on camera and just being comfortable. And I remember the first few times I was doing background acting, sometimes when I was doing a scene and the camera was close to me, I could feel my face getting red and all that stuff, and I'm like, shoot. Anxiety, like, oh my God. But I just kind of kept doing it, because the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to feel. That's why I say you just have to do it, because it's practice. And the more I did it, I first of all, I loved it just because I've always loved acting and filmmaking. I love being on set. I love the long hours on set. Any other job, obviously, no, I don't like the long hours, but for filming, I love it. And I would meet like some cool people and see, awesome actors and stuff. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I got on camera. And then on the side, I was also making YouTube videos. So that was helping as well. So just combining both, background acting, YouTube videos, being on camera was helping me be more comfortable on camera. And then I took several classes in LA. I took a commercial auditioning class. I took an acting class. I took a hosting class. So I recommend, if you can as well, take classes, get a private coach if you can right now. Because of, not just because of the pandemic. I knew before the pandemic they were doing this, but there's a lot more options now you can do online. You can do online acting classes, coaching, private coaching, depending on, if you have the budget for it. So there are options, okay? So don't make excuses. It makes a big difference. Yeah, doing this stuff on my own little movies, YouTube videos, background acting helps, but I feel like classes just will bring you on another level. And it's good to have feedback from that coach. You can't just think in your head all the time that you're always right. Like, it's good to get feedback, and feedback from people who actually know what they're talking about. Not just like people on YouTube who, leave mean comments because they're jealous and insecure and they want to make you feel jealous and insecure. Like, those comments are not coming from a good place. Whereas a coach, a professional, a teacher. First of all, research your teachers. I did my research. I didn't just sign up for a class without knowing. I want to know, like, okay, what has this person worked on? So I would suggest, please do your research. When I took my hosting classes, I was like, okay, where has this person worked as a host? Luckily, they have worked on a lot of really cool shows, so I trusted them. So consider the source, okay, when you're getting the feedback. Don't just rely on comments from random people on YouTube who are going to try to bring you down and be negative, So I really valued the feedback that I got from them. I feel like they really helped me become better. And then I got experience. I did a lot of acting, especially the most acting I think I ever did was last year in 2019. I did my first feature film where I had the lead female role. It was me and two guys. We were the main actors in it. And right now it's showing in festivals. It's called The Family Tree. Yeah, I don't really talk about my stuff because I'm one of those actors that doesn't like to watch themselves on camera, like Johnny Depp, and I think Adam Driver's another one. Not all actors are narcissists. So just like Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp is also INFP, so it kind of makes sense that we probably both think the same way, but I act because I enjoy, like I said, I just enjoy it. I don't do it because I want to see myself on a big screen. Like, that's not the reason I do it. I cringe, like, ugh. Even when I'm directing something, I have a hard time, like, seeing it on a big screen. It's just more like, I don't really need to be there to see it. It's just, and then especially seeing my face on a big camera, it's just like, with acting, it's kind of like, this is what I think some people don't understand who don't act. Like, when you're acting, like, I was there. I don't really need to see it again. And people are like, well, don't you want to see what it comes? I'm like, that's their movie, the director, I trust them, hopefully it comes out good. I'll support the other actors there, but I don't really want to go see myself. I was there. I read the script. I act because I enjoy it. And, it's like, once I finish a project, it's like, cool, I did my job. I want to move on to the next project. And not only did I do that feature film, I did a couple other short films. If you want to see them, I'll post a link on my website. I'm not going to show off and I don't know. I just feel kind of weird talking about the films I did and stuff. I don't think they're all available to watch because they're pretty recent, but if you want to see maybe a trailer or something, I'll post links in the description. But it's been a long journey because not only did I do acting, but I've done hosting for Sci-Fi Network, co-hosting for the after show for the show Krypton, so that was really, really cool. And I was on a lot of after shows for AfterBuzz TV, so if you know the YouTube channel AfterBuzz, I was on probably 8 or 9 after shows all in 2019. So I was really, really busy. It was a panel. So usually we would have up to 4 people hosting. So it was really good experience. Just kind of try something different. I've done stuff with a teleprompter. So it's cool to get that experience. On AfterBuzz, it was live with the panel. So that's a different type of hosting. So it's good as a host to try different things. I did red carpets. I interviewed Jeff Goldblum. That was probably the coolest interview I've done. I enjoy it. And it's been a long way. Now I don't really get all hot and red in my face when the camera is there. So progress, right? Especially I feel like I have come a long way from when I would speak like this when people would talk to me, And oh, I will say too, a comment that really helped me with my whole voice, sounding like a boy thing. When I first started uploading YouTube videos, not maybe the ones that I showed you, but some later on, somebody left a comment saying that they really liked my voice. And that was the first time I ever heard that in my life. No one had ever complimented my voice before. Literally nobody. And, that's fine. Not a lot of people compliment people's voice. That's not really a common compliment. I have complimented other people's voice if I think, they have good voices. I'll be like, wow, you have a really nice voice. But when somebody wrote that on one of my videos, like, oh, wow, you have a really nice voice. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, no one has ever told me they liked my voice. And I kind of hated it for a long time. So that really helped. So, let's be nicer. Okay. But genuine. Like if somebody has a nice voice, tell them. Don't just think it. If somebody does something that you really like, they do a cool project, I don't know, tell them you like it. Don't be quiet about it. It could really make someone stay. Like for me, that I still remember that comment, and that was almost 10 years ago, I think, or maybe 9 or 10 years ago. I was like, what? Like somebody actually likes my voice? That's crazy. Just real quick, I forgot to add this too. The way I got into hosting was when I was in film school, I started doing documentaries as well. I was directing them. I wasn't in them, but I noticed that I really enjoyed interviewing people. And, I like to get to know people because I like doing that anyway. I like to really ask them questions and get to know them. So that's kind of how I got into hosting. Now I have 3 podcasts. So I am kind of proud of myself that I've made this progress. I've started a feature film. It's weird. I was in other short films as well. I've done hosting. I do these YouTube videos now. I host 3 podcasts, which is crazy because they involve my voice, which I hated for a really long time. And I'm not saying that I love my voice now. It's the best voice ever, but I'm just getting used to it. It's like I just accept it. That's my voice. I can't really change it. I'm not going to go get surgery for my voice. I'm not going to pretend I have a different voice. I can't keep that up forever. You just have to kind of be yourself and work on the things that you can change. But all in all, I just hope you guys take from this that if there's something you want to achieve, you have to just start somewhere and practice. You're never just by kind of sitting and hoping and not doing anything. That's not really going to change. I hated my voice. I was a mute for a long time. I was just really quiet. If I was just hoping one day I'm going to automatically love my voice and not be a mute, that was never going to happen. It had to be a process. I had to start by, making my own little movies, then recording YouTube videos that I put online for other people to see. When I was first on camera, I would get really red. I would feel just my face burning up. And now when I turn the camera on, I don't. So it was a process. It's practice. And if you don't feel comfortable, it's not going to feel comfortable when you first do it. That means that you're growing, growing pains, right? It's not going to be comfortable, but you just have to keep going. If it's something you really want to do, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be on camera. If you want to be a singer, be on stages, more and more, that's the other thing. I started doing stand-up comedy. I just do a lot. Sorry, I forget, but I started doing stand-up comedy. I never would have thought I would be doing stand-up comedy as a kid. No. If you would have told me, I'd be like, I would never do stand-up comedy. Now I do stand-up comedy. Yeah, so you just have to do it. You can't do it and expect to be perfect the first time. That's not going to happen. My first videos, definitely not perfect, but it's a process. So yeah, I hope this kind of helped. Sorry, it's a long video, but I told you it was going to be a long video because there was a lot. I really wanted you to know all the kind of steps I had to take in my journey to get to this point. And there's probably other steps I forgot, but these were the most important ones. Practice, practice, practice. Take classes from people who know what they're talking about. Vet your teachers, get some good feedback from people who know what they're talking about, not just randos who are just trying to bring you down. Also, make sure, surround yourself with supportive people. My family really in general are really supportive. But the more you do it, you'll find other people who will believe in you, who will support you. Not everyone will, but filter those people out. Don't talk to them as much. The ones who don't support you, don't be around them. Be around the ones who will support you, who will work with you, who will help you. That really helps too, to have that support system. And I think that's it. If you have any other questions about anything I talked about, my journey, if you want maybe like tips for something else that I didn't talk about, please let me know. I'd love to help you guys out. That's why I made this video. I'm hoping it can kind of help inspire, motivate someone in any way. If there's any thing I talked about here that maybe you want me to make a separate video about, that I can go a little bit more in depth, please let me know. I can help you out too. And I think that's that. Yeah, I don't want to go on for too long. Thank you so much. If you watch the video, can you please let me know by writing the word comb in your comments, and that way I will know that you watched the whole video, and I'll really appreciate it. If you like this shirt, I got it from Lulu's because I get a lot of stuff from Lulu's because I love their stuff. So I'll post that in the link below. Follow me on my social media. If you want to see me do stand-up, I do some virtual shows. Links for everything in the description. That's it. I wish you the best in your dreams. Keep going. Don't give up. I wanted to act and everything since I was 4. I'm 34 now. I'm going to be 35 soon. Oh my gosh. So 30 years. 30-year journey. 30-year journey. Okay? I didn't really change my dream that much. I've tried a bunch of other side gigs as well, but the core was like, I wanted to act and host and all that stuff. So I wish you the best in all your dreams. Don't give up. Follow your heart. All that good stuff. I really believe in that. And don't give up your dreams for anyone. And believe in yourself. Sending you a big virtual hug. All right.